Wednesday, August 1st, 17 miles outside New York City, 1:01 p.m. Given the opportunity, my friend Special Agent Ralph Hawkins never passed up a chance to kick in a door. And today, for tactical reasons, FBI SWAT Commander Torres was offering it to him. 4 members of Torres's team surrounded us. Normally, they would use the Halligan bar to breach the door and gain access to the house. Today, we had Ralph's boot. That would be enough. Faster than the bar. Through his headset mic, Torres confirmed that the snipers were in position, then said, "On my count." Ralph readied himself. A former ranger and knuckle tough, when he entered a room, the other alpha males would take one look at him, then quietly find their seats, fold their hands in their laps, and wait for instructions. I don't mind the rush of adrenaline myself, and in another life I might have even signed onto Torres's team. But in this one, I would let these guys go in first. 3, Torres whispered. I'd track the offenders for them instead. 1 team, different roles, different cogs. 2. If Blake really was in this house, they were better trained to deal with him than I was. Now, a dynamic entry 2, but before Torres could say 1, Ralph shouted, "FBI!" and kicked the door brutally open, shattering the lock and sending the panel smacking with wood-splintering ferocity against the interior wall. Torres and his men curled in from both sides of the doorway, button-hook formation, and disappeared into the darkened home. Assistant Director DeYoung had been clear. Agents Ralph Hawkins and Patrick Bowers could be present, but we had to let the SWAT team clear the residence. So, for the moment, we stayed outside. I wasn't thrilled by the idea, and knew Ralph wasn't either. We stood to the sides of the doorway to get out of what law enforcement personnel call the fatal funnel. Offenders shoot through doors, not so often through walls. "You really Hawkins'd that door," I told him. "You made my name into a verb." His rumbling voice was just short of a growl, but it wasn't harsh. All authority. "Your life is a verb. You could have used my first name. Probably better to say you Hawkins'd it than you Ralph'd it." "You might have a point," he acknowledged. The team called out as they moved through the home. "Clear!" And once again, I said to Ralph, "You didn't wait for 1. 2's the loneliest number." From inside the house, "Clear!" I thought 1 was. "No, everyone always counts down to 1. It's the default climax." 2 was feeling slighted. "So you didn't want a diss too?" "No, I did not." Another affirmative shout from one of the SWAT guys. "That enough for you?" Ralph asked me. "Plenty." We entered, weapons in low-ready position. These days, policy dictates that agents carry Glocks, so I'd had to jump through some hoops and fill out a mountain of paperwork, but in the end, I was able to keep the .357 SIG P229 that had served me so well in the past. Sometimes efficacy requires you to extend the leash of protocol. All of the light bulbs in the windowless room had been removed, so apart from the smudge of light that filtered through the doorway behind us, the lancing beams of our flashlights were all that intruded on the darkness. I last saw Blake in June in a warehouse near Jamaica Bay, and I'd been tracking him ever since. He and his mountainous bodyguard, a guy who looked big enough to give even Ralph a run for his money in a fight, actually helped save the lives of an NYPD detective and a Port Authority officer. Despite their assistance, however, because of their connection with organized crime and their links to violent extremists and the human trafficking of minors, we weren't about to make any deals. They were the kind of people you have nightmares about. Terrorists come in many forms, and sometimes they look just like the guy next door.